I'm kind of excited about this review because it's something a little bit different, something I haven't done a video review of before. In all of my almost 29 years, I haven't done a video review of shoes. And these shoes are especially interesting because of one fact, and I'm going to show you in just a second. These are PollyFab shoes, and they are lightweight, air cushioned, quick dry, breathable, flexible, ergonomic fit. And why are they so cool? Well, they're the first 5D versatile sneakers. What the heck does that mean? Well, I'm going to show you in just a second. They actually sent me 2 different pairs to try. So I'm going to take them out here and show them to you right now. Here's the first pair. Check it out. They are 3D printed shoes. That's right, 3D printed shoes. They're soft. They look like they've been woven, but they're like a soft kind of, I don't know, plastic, right? But they have a thick, cushy sole. Let me open the other one. And the second pair are a nice bright orange, and they're more like a mule, like a croc, you know, like a slip-in slipper. And they have the same kind of soft feel to them, but they don't look quite as woven. If you can see through them. They're like a smooth, what would you want to call this? Like a grid pattern, whereas these, can you see that? They look like they're woven, but are they actually? I don't know. I don't think so. It's just the way that it's printed. So here you can see a difference, and they both have a cushy sole. So I am going to slip these on, walk around, see what I think about them for a couple days, and then let you know what I think and if you should consider buying some 3D printed footwear. Okay, I'm going to try them on. I'm going to show you how they fit. Now, these are the AirPuff ones. They're more like a slide-on shoe, kind of like a slipper. And these are the Aero Pros, which are more like a full shoe. Now, they call these a sneaker, and I would not call these a sneaker, but okay. Anyway, they suggest that for standard width feet to go one size smaller than normal. Now, I'm a 5'6" tall female, and I have kind of big feet. Check that out. I wear size 10 shoes, so I got size 9.5. So we're going to see how well they fit. So I'm going to take these off, and I have white socks on so you can see, if you can see the socks through the shoes. And let's see, which ones do we want to do first? Let's do the little slip-ons. So let's just put one on real quick. And you can see I'm really fashionable with my camo lounge pants. All right, so let's move this chair out of the way and so you can see them on my feet. They're kind of comfortable. They feel a little large on my feet. So yeah, they're feeling a little large here. Not too terribly large, but they'll slide off just like that. If I just go like that, they're going to slide right off, which that shouldn't be a surprise since they are kind of a slide-on type shoe, kind of like a slipper. They aren't super slippery on this hardwood surface, but they're not extremely grippy either. I'll have to see what it feels like to walk down my stairs and walk up the stairs. That's always a concern. My better half has fallen down the stairs from wearing a shoe without good traction on the bottom. All right, so for fit, they're a little large, slightly large, and they feel pretty comfortable. I wouldn't want to wear them all day and walk around miles and miles in them, but as a slipper, they're not bad at all. So that is the AirPuff ones. Now let's try the Aero Pros, which are more like a regular shoe. See if I can slide my foot in them without having to use my hand. Now I'm feeling I've got to kind of go up and down to get the heel to go up. The back of the shoe. Which, there we go. All right. These they feel just slightly roomy. I think I could have gone with a size 9. But again, they're comfortable. I mean, they're not like my Ons. My On Cloud Runners, which I feel like I'm walking on a cloud. But they're not terrible. And I would not want to walk, in town on concrete for hours at a time on these. But around the house, yeah, they're not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, I will say that you are not going to want to walk around in mud puddles with these little guys or big guys, because I got big feet. I can see through. I'm looking at them and I can see the light through. I can see the light coming through the soles and through the tops. Because these are 3D printed and they're little teeny holes. So you're not going to want to walk through mud puddles, especially if you're wearing socks. Of course, you can wear these, barefoot. They might be, they might be great for a beach shoe, although you're going to get sand. Sand's going to get in these little holes. That's going to be a problem. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about that. I think they're better for indoors. I don't think I'd want to wear them outdoors. Let's see these are the same way. I can see the light through them. But they're comfortable little shoe and slipper. Yeah. It's time for me to tell you what I think about these PollyFab 3D printed shoes. I've been wearing them for the last few days, testing each pair. And let me start here with the AirPuff ones. Now these are the ones that are just like a slide-in slipper. I think that the term that they use, not PollyFab, but people in general, are mules. Am I right there? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if I'm completely off base there. So there's nothing really to keep them on your feet. And I had the most trouble with these. I think if you recall, I might have mentioned that I was wondering how they would be going up and down stairs. I have hardwood stairs, kind of like the floor that you see right here. So they're kind of slippery stairs, okay? I wore these, and they are, like I said, they feel like they're about a half an inch too big. A half a size too big, I'm sorry. They feel like they're about a half size too big for me. Their site says, for standard feet, to order a half a size smaller than you would normally buy. And I think it needs to be a whole size smaller, at least for me. Now, I think that these are men's sizes, because I got a 9.5 and I wear a women's size 10. I don't know. I just know that they are too big for me. And going up and down stairs, I lost one of the shoes just picking my foot up and going to the next stair. So walking around on a flat surface is fine. Going up and down the stairs in these was a no-go. It's not going to happen because, you know, I don't need to fall down the stairs. No, thank you. Then we have the Aero Pros. Now these are better. Again, these are about a half a size too large for my feet, but they fit better. And I had no problem going up and down the stairs with them. I had no problems whatsoever with them, other than they don't really have any kind of an arch support. Now, I don't wear inserts in my shoes, but, you know, a lot of my shoes, I can kind of tell that they have some arch support. Well, these are completely, they might not be completely flat on the inside. It's really hard to tell, but just enough to say that they're pretty much completely flat, okay? You can also see that there's no, you know, there's no arch support here on the bottom, which you wouldn't probably see anyway, but they're very flat. Now, just walking around the house is fine. You know, I didn't notice any problems whatsoever. Walking up and down the stairs was no problem either. I decided to walk on the treadmill. I did one of my daily walks. I do 2 of them every day for 20 minutes on the treadmill. And I pick various programs that can not only walk flat, but they can go up and then they can also go and decline. I noticed that walking for a mile in these shoes on a hard surface like a treadmill, that I could feel every step in my heel in these. So for me, I wouldn't use these. They call these a sneaker, right? The box said that they were a sneaker. Sneaker makes you think you could run in them. You could, you know, do long walks in them, etc. For me, I would not do that. Walking around the house, using them as slippers is perfectly fine. I would not take them outside and walk in the yard because they got holes and, you know, they could get dirty, and I think it would be really tough to clean mud and dirt, anything out of the bottom of these shoes because they have holes in them. And you're not going to want to walk around if it's, you know, bad weather because the water is going to like seep up through them. So here we go. So right now, the price for a pair of these is $80. And you can choose from 6 different colors. Now these, the Aero Pros, the price for these shoes is $120. Would I buy these to use as slippers inside my home? Because I'm not going to wear them outside. Yes, I could use them to walk from the house into the garage to take, like, you know, to empty the trash, that kind of thing, but I wouldn't wear them out in the yard. And I wouldn't wear them on the beach because I think sand would get caught in these holes, and again, I think it'd be really hard to clean them out because there are multiple layers of the sole of the shoes. So you've got, you know, you've got layers upon layers here that builds up the bottom platform of the shoe. So if you got some sand in here or dirt and it fell down farther into the shoe, it can get caught between the layers. And you're going to have, it's going to be impossible to clean them. So, I think they're interesting. The look's kind of interesting. They're actually really comfortable, these are, to walk around my house. I found them to be very comfortable. Getting them on and off without having to, you know, like put my foot in there and then grab the heel was, you know, wasn't needed. I could kind of get them on, just kind of slip them on. Now, if they were half a size smaller, I probably would have to use both hands to put a shoe on. Would I buy these for myself? Probably not. Due to the fact that I can only wear them in the house. If the soles were completely closed off, as in, you know, sealed, so that water, dirt, and sand couldn't get into the bottom of the sole and then up through the layers of the shoe, I'd be more likely to recommend them. But this current design, I think, is only good if you're going to wear these in the house and nowhere else. So that is my verdict on the PollyFab shoes. They have other versions too that you can check out, different other styles that you might want to take a look at. And if you are interested in them, definitely check the link in the description below. And I hope that this review was helpful. If it was, consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed and like my style of video reviews, consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. And as always, I hope you have a really great day.